points in it, so I'm not gonna stab myself.
Okay. All right. Now we are starting JesterCast properly. Hello, everyone, and welcome to JesterCast. In case you didn't get from the test stream, or if you just decided to ignore the test
Hello.
stream, we are on new internet. So if things are looking more clear and smooth, there's your change.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm finally off of CenturyLink. Fuck CenturyLink.
Fuck Century Link.
I'm never gonna get tired of saying that. All right. And for this stream, as if you remember, last week we were doing the Marvel tier list, and this week we're doing DC. So we're gonna be going over all the movies that DC has offered to us. And full disclosure, I have not seen every film in the DC cinematic universe. I've only seen like a handful. I've seen like, oh, let me think here. I've seen. Okay, I know I've seen the original Suicide Squad. I know I've seen Batman v Superman. I think I've seen Shazam. Honestly, it's hard to tell. So I don't know if I have or if I'm just remembering like a scene compilation or whatever. But yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
Same. I mean, I haven't seen all of them either, but yeah, no, I've got that. Well, I'm sure between both of us, we've got opinions.
Yes, we have our opinions. So let me get the tier list up, and then we shall begin doing some ranking.
Okay.
Just need a moment to get it. Okay, DC movies. Alright, where are you? Where are you? Ah, here we are. Okay, first one we have is the 66 Batman movie with Adam West.
I never actually seen that one. I've seen a lot of references to it.
I honestly really enjoy it. Like, Adam West is just such a campy
It look
Batman, and honestly, it just spawns so many memes. Like, remember the line, "Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb."
Yeah, that's what I mean. I've seen enough of the scenes to know those references. And it looks fun too. You know, for what it was, the kind of show that it was.
So, I'm split between A and B because, no, yeah, A. I'm not ashamed to say that the 66 Batman was good. It was a good movie. It was a good show.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next up, uh, uh, the first Superman with uh Christopher Reeves.
Ah. Hmm. Well, I've seen it. I do remember it, and I would say watching it now as an adult, I can definitely appreciate it as a classic. I do remember though when I first saw it on TV as a kid. Mind you, I grew up on Superman the animated series from the '90s, So already there's a benchmark of what Superman is like in my head. So when I saw the movie for the very first time on TV, I remember being a kid and not being all that impressed by it. But years later, watching it again as an adult, I don't know why, but there's just a charm to it. You definitely appreciate more nuances, like like how Christopher Reeves portrayed Superman Clark Kent, and how that is pretty much the quintessential live action, or the live action Superman that so many people will look up to and model their portrayals upon. So I would yeah, for the very first Superman movie, of its time, I mean, I would easily put it in A, at least. I mean, or actually, you know what? I will also say this. I'm also willing to maybe bump it up to an S just because it gave us the most one of the most iconic soundtracks ever.
Yeah,
Still used to this day.
yeah. I personally would put an S for two main reasons. One being the Superman theme song because absolutely amazing, and two, this was probably the first superhero movie where it was succeeding at getting the public audience to start taking superheroes seriously in cinema.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. No, I could see that. Yeah. Definitely one of those turning points for superheroes in cinema.
Yeah, because yeah, keep in mind that before this, when people thought superheroes, they just thought, oh, people entice. Like they didn't take it too seriously. They just saw it as campy kids fun. They didn't think that they
Right.
could speak to an older demographic, and I felt that this film was the first to really start proving them wrong.
Hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, and then we have Superman 2.
Man 2. Oh, you know what? Just as iconic as the first, gave us super powered antagonists. And what was it? Um oh, and further development on uh Lois and Clark's relationship. I really enjoyed watching that. Um Yeah, no, it's definitely up there with the first movie. Another solid S in my opinion.
Yeah, hot. Where'd you go? There you are. Highly agree. All right. Oh, what is this? I gotta zoom in here. Oh, this is Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Oh, right, they did make a. I did not see it though. I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. So I better really quickly create a never seen it category.
Ah,
All right. Okay, Superman 3 is where they start to lose me.
I never watched it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't even okay. Maybe I was barely aware that there was a third and a fourth Superman movie, but I just didn't have enough interest to go and watch it. What was it even about?
Uh, honestly, it's been a second since I haven't seen it, so I don't remember too much. All I remember is that Richard Pryor was in it, and unlike Richard Pryor who's usually hilarious, in this he's just annoying.
Huh? Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing the cover for that on the videotapes at Blockbuster. I was wondering what Richard Pryor was doing there.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. Yeah, I'd say C.
Okay.
Okay, Supergirl. I was not even aware there was a Supergirl movie.
I was kind of aware of it, but also warned that it really didn't connect at all with the Christopher Reeves' Superman.
Huh.
Not really, anyway. So, and I didn't even have any interest to watch it anyway. So,
Yeah, sounds like a dodge a bullet.
mm. Ow.
All right, Superman 4.
Okay, I heard there was a fourth movie, but haven't seen it. Don't even know what it's about.
I'm putting in E. I'm gonna put in D. This is probably one of the worst. It's definitely one of the worst Superman movies, but it's not the worst.
Ooh.
Yeah, this one I remember very vividly because unlike the first two Superman movies, where it was clear they knew what they were doing and the effects were top notch and everything was like up to scale. This one, the effects were so lazy. Like there's a shot of Superman flying that they used like 8 times, and you could tell like there was a fight between the big bad and Superman on the moon, and Lois is there. And it's like, how is she able to breathe? Ugh. All right,
Yep. Sounds like they lost the plot.
yeah. Swamp Thing 2, I've never seen.
Huh. They made a second movie?
Apparently.
Huh. Well, I mean, I haven't seen it either, but okay.
Batman 89. S.
Oh, dude, yes. I mean, obviously we've had way more movies since then, but man, back then, could you think of a better director than Tim Burton?
Yeah, for real. Real. Michael Keaton is probably
And
one
I
of the.
loved the.
I was just gonna say
Oh
Michael.
yes, you were about to. You basically saying it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Michael Keaton is one of the best Batmans we've ever had.
Hell yeah! I mean, and to think that he was such a an underdog choice casting for it. Like people were looking at it thinking, "What? This guy? Seriously?" Until you actually saw him and then realized, dude, he's a badass.
For real. All right, Batman Returns. This one I'm a bit more split on.
Yeah, I can understand why, but and I gotta come clean about something. Batman Returns was the first Batman film I saw before the original '89. So you can imagine I was a little put off of it by by realizing, God, how much darker and slightly more twisted the sequel was.
Yeah, like it definitely had a lot of great elements, but there was also a couple things that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like I wasn't entirely. I was kind of confused on what Penguin's endgame was.
Yeah, I uh, I don't quite know what to tell you. I mean, I mean, okay. At first, what he wanted his fortune, and then what he wanted to take over the city, and then he went, uh, fuck it, I'm gonna make a statement and kill a bunch of people.
It's like whatever he did in a day, he changed his mind as
That's
to
all
what
I
he
got from
wanted.
it.
I imagine Dexter like, a second thought. I don't want the city. I don't want Gotham. I don't want the world. I just want a ham sandwich.
But I
They
guess
get
to be fair, they did distract us pretty well with Michelle Pfeiffer. And I say this unironically.
well, yeah. I'm pretty sure they knew what they were doing by putting Michelle Pfeiffer in that outfit. I'd say all in all, I'd probably give it like maybe a B. Like it was good, but I feel like Tim Burton is at his best when he's a bit more under control.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely watch 89 over Returns almost any day. But I mean, hell, I mean, Returns happens to be on TV and 89 is not playing at the moment. I might still watch it. But yeah, no, I can agree with with maybe a high B.
Yeah,
Okay, because I mean, there's obviously way worse films later on.
yeah. Speaking of which, Batman Forever.
I I'm trying to think here. Um, well, actually, hmm, okay, few things. Um, First off, Schumacher. I mean, respectfully, may rest in peace. Um, I have questions, and yet there are times I can't help but keep watching it if a scene pops up on YouTube just because of how I don't know weirdly bad it is. It's one of those movies that's kind of my guilty pleasures. I'll say just because I don't know. I like seeing Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey, and I will also say that a shame that there was so much drama behind the scenes. But I thought Val Kilmer made a pretty good Bruce Wayne. Um, but of course, there's everything else questionable about the movie itself,
Yeah,
compositions, and I,
I
I don't know. The best way I could sum it up is it's a weird hot mess.
yeah. The ones that come to my mind is Tommy Lee Jones as Two Face.
Okay, yeah, no, that one I have to take umbrage with just because that's not even Two Face anymore. That's just some weird psycho that they were trying to play up to be like the Joker. But he's not. That's not the point, though. He's not supposed to be the Joker. He's insane, but he's not. You know, that kind of campy insane. Is ugh.
Yeah, not to mention extremist opportunity. But I read a while ago that Tim Burton, when he was still working on Batman Forever, he was planning on getting Robin Williams to play the Riddler, and I was like, what an amazing performance that could have been.
Oh, that could have. Man, I would have loved to have seen Robin Williams as the Riddler.
Oh, it would have been so good. So, all in all, I don't know, maybe C. Like, it's not god awful, but it's not great either.
Yeah, I can agree with the C. Like I said, it's a guilty pleasure for me sometimes just to watch it, or at least if a scene's pop up on YouTube, just because of how amazingly campy and bad it is. But yeah, no, I would defer more to you and agree with you, C, because you know what? I will watch it over what's next.
Yeah. Batman and Robin. Hey. Do you know I killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
I mean, maybe the only thing that had me that kept my interest was probably Uma Thurman. Just barely.
Yeah, but yeah, so much of that did not work. Like jokes aside,
No.
Schwarzenegger should never have been Mr. Freeze. And I'm just gonna say it, George Clooney is probably the worst Batman we've ever had.
Oh God. Um. Yeah, definitely the worst. I mean, I did not for one second believe that this guy could be Bruce Wayne, even though the guy was on fire in terms of his career, but he just did not translate well as a Bruce Wayne. And he translated into an even worse Batman.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, and plus, I could not take. I just find it laughable the effects that they were using on Bane.
Yeah, I feel sad that Bane got regulated to being a mindless brute, because the real Bane in the comics, that guy was a real monster mentally as well. I mean, the guy who could be who could be a physical and mental challenge to Batman. Ooh, that is a scary dude.
Yeah, like this is the guy who could actually say he broke Batman, and he kind of did for a while.
Yeah, in the comics, he literally broke the Batman and he deduced his identity.
Yeah, but here he's just like, I follow a poison ivy.
Uh. God.
It's like a luchador version of the abominable snowman from Looney Tunes. Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
Oh my god.
Which way did Batman go? Ugh. But yeah, probably one of the worst Batman movies we ever had. F.
F. Yep.
Yeah.
Lowest the low.
All right. Next we have Steel, starring Shaq.
I think I only vaguely remember watching this years ago on TV. Um, I didn't even know that it was that was technically a DC movie. And when I go back and see clips of it, it is just so 90s corny.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
I personally haven't seen that. I've only seen the trailer
no,
and a few select clips, so I'm gonna divert to your opinion on this one.
no. I don't know. I'm trying to think. If faced between watching this or Batman and Robin, which one would I watch? Or fuck it. They I think they both deserve to be an F. I don't
Yeah.
know who's better than who, but they both deserve to be down there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh god, this piece of shit. Catwoman, starring Halle Berry.
This one I actually did not see. I just wasn't interested.
Well, if you saw the post, the promotional material, it's pretty much exactly what you saw there. It's a bad movie. It is awful.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Bad movie and an even worse video game adaptation. I remember reading about that in magazines. Yes, I read magazines back then.
Yeah. Like one scene that stands out in my mind is there was this lady that Selena goes to. I don't remember her real name in the movie, but I'm just gonna call her Selena because obvious reasons. So Selena goes to this lady and she gives this spiel about how she was talking about how cats are the gods, gods who could like reincarnate, blah blah blah, blah, and people didn't take her seriously. And Selena was like, "Why?" And she said, "Male academia." And I'm like, "Bitch, really? You're talking about how cats can bring you back to life and do all this mystical shit, and you're putting it on patriarchy? Wrong. It's because you're nuts." Like anyone in any professional field who has heard this would agree that if they tell me if you didn't hear her talk about this shit, you wouldn't think she was batshit out of her mind. So yeah, no, F. It's a terrible movie.
Ugh, man, DC just really wasn't hitting their stride at all. The '90s and 2000s, were they?
No, it definitely wasn't their strong point. All right, next we got Constantine.
Constantine. Oh, okay. Another one that I watched that I did not realize was also another DC property. Um, hmm. Well, first off, I didn't know anything about Constantine at all. So when I went to watch the movie, I just took it as is. Now, mind you, but when this movie came out, I was still relatively young. I was probably more excited to watch something that had more action in it. So to me, when I remember watching it, I remember being, kind of mildly bored just because there wasn't much action to it. But watching it now, it's one of my it's kind of one of my go-tos if I'm in the mood for something a bit more, I don't know, moody and detective noirish, um, which I think was cool for what they were going for. But then I also read about how much it diverged from the source material. And so I'm kind of split on two things. One, it's not very accurate to Constantine that much, if only in some bare minimums. But on the other hand, if you just took it as a standalone kind of thing, I thought it was just I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. So trying to go somewhere in between, in the middle of that, between me just liking it for what it is, but also criticizing how accurate it was or wasn't to the source material. I put it about a high C.
Okay. Yeah, that feels right. I personally never saw the movie because
Mm.
I actually learned about Constantine through the Arrowverse, and that led me to reading the comics. And now I kind of have this image of Constantine to the point where I'm not sure I'm really interested in watching the movie now.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, if you know Constantine, you can't picture anyone other than Matt Ryan as Constantine.
Yeah. Okay, Batman Begins, the beginning of the Nolan trilogy.
Oh, okay. This is when things shifted around. When superhero movies started to get even more get really interesting for the modern audience, especially on the DC side of things. The the grounded realistic reboot, the portrayal of Batman that we've always wanted, and maybe one of the best portrayals of Bruce Wayne by Christian Bale. This Batman Begins. revitalize things in many different ways, and I would I would definitely at least put it within A territory because I also remember playing the video game adaptation and having a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely get down with that. I think the only thing that kind of holds it back a little bit for me is I'm not the biggest fan of the Nolan versus version of Scarecrow.
Ah,
I don't know. He didn't grab me too much in that movie.
yeah, he was just kind of there, but of course he's friends with the director, so he showed up in all three movies.
Yeah. Though that being said, Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul was probably the most brilliant casting they could have done.
Oh yeah, another iconic role for Mr. Neeson.
All right, Superman Returns.
Um, that one was just kind of mid for me. Actually, to this day, I'm still confused. Is it supposed to be in the same continuity as the Christopher Reeves movies, or not?
I think this is around
Because
where they decided to start creating a DC extended universe. I think this was the kicker for that.
hmm, well, hmm, because I will say, um, Brandon Routh, I he was pretty good. I mean, in his portrayal of Superman and Clark Kent, I mean, he definitely echoes quite a bit of Christopher Reeves in terms of his energy and um, overall portrayal. But I feel like the movie itself could have done better at, with a lot of things. But that said, it was also kind of entertaining to see Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. And that's all I will say about and that is all I will say about Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I have an opinion. In fact, I didn't even know Brandon Ruth was Superman until recently.
Yeah, um, yeah. So it was kind of funny to see him reprise Superman again for the whole what was it, Crisis event
Oh,
in
shit.
the Arrowverse series.
Wait, really? Oh, I'm gonna have that to look forward to. I'm still catching up on that.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
No, 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 it's all good. That just gives me something to look forward to.
Okay, yeah. Wait. Did I rate it already or not yet?
No, you didn't. You kind of stopped after, and that's all
Oh,
I'll say about
okay.
Kevin Spacey.
Okay, yeah, no. Because, man, hell, at the time, it was pretty perfect and on point casting all around, especially Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. But now, I don't know. I just feel kind of icky. Talk. You know what? Like that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all I will say. Yeah. Anyway, um, the movie itself, I wish there were things they could have done differently with the with the overall direction of the plot and the pacing of things. So it's a movie that's just um, mid for me. So it's definitely something I wouldn't bother watching all the way through if it came on TV. So I put it in the C category.
All right. Okay, Dark Knight, absolute S.
Oh, this one changed everything. in the superhero genre for sure. I mean, it really is a definite S. I mean, for the biggest elephant in the room, Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, one of the most iconic performances in the last um, 2 decades or so.
Oh, yes. All right. Uh, Watchmen.
Watchmen. Um, took a little getting used to, or at least a couple of views to make me appreciate the entirety of it. But also, another iconic one that I would say is pretty up there. I mean, the comic itself, the original source material, was quite a thing in of itself too, um, conveying the nitty gritty side of superheroes, especially under Cold War era context. Um, and definitely the movie itself is a testament to that. Definitely another great showcase of some of Zack Snyder's work when he is at his best. Um, I would put Watchmen around, I don't know, at least an A. I know a lot of people, a good number of people out there would want to put it in S, and I could agree with them to an extent, but I don't know. To me, it's still a high ranking one, just maybe not as high ranked on my personal list. That's why it's at least within the A territory.
All right. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I'll do. Okay. Okay. Next we have Jonah Hex. I have not seen this one.
I haven't seen it either, but I also heard it was also a pretty bad DC film.
Yeah. Which is kind of a shame because
Yeah,
I've
not.
read a few of the Jonah Hex comics and he's kind of a badass.
Oh yeah, no. Jonah Hex is an awesome character. Um, and I thought and I thought the casting was cool. Josh Brolin.
Speaking of actors that will later be associated with Deadpool, Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's like what 2 hours of my life I'm not getting back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slip down to F.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I mean, it had to fail in order to give us some of the best jokes.
Yeah. Just make sure the Sue is in green.
Or animated.
Okay, Dark Knight Rises.
um, I'm sorry. It's just no. The film was cool. Bane was cool, but unfortunately, um after the Dark Knight, there were all those college humor videos of Badman that by the time I saw Dark Knight Rises, I really couldn't take Batman's voice seriously anymore.
My parents are alive. They're on a farm where they make buttermilk.
They're on a farm. They write me emails. Wow. But okay. Um But no, the film tried to trying to focus back on the film. Um, I do like Bane. I do like what they had going for. 'em. Tom Hardy, God, he is a beast. Putting on that much muscle and that much weight to play Bane, and definitely, well, arguably iconic portrayal, if a little bit at the what's the word
Memetic.
to the chagrin of it being parodied um, from that point onward.
Yeah, because like I know
um,
of so many people that have impersonated the Bane voice, and boys I can't take it seriously because they're always like, "I am Gotham's reckoning, Batman."
yeah, even the even his portrayal in the Harley Quinn animated series just leans into and makes fun of that. um, but but for what they were trying to go for, I liked it. Um, and you know what? I will also say this: I did not expect Bruce Wayne to come out of it out of this trilogy with a happier end. Like I honestly thought that he was going to be dead by the end of it. But you know what? For all the crap he's been through, I'm glad that he got the ending that he did. But for that matter, it never quite reaches the same heights as Dark Knight. I mean, it is a tough act to follow, but but I still found it enjoyable enough. I mean, it's always a blast to watch Morgan Freeman in there. Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine as Alfred. So I'm still willing to put it in A territory, but maybe lower than Batman Begins.
Yeah, maybe like Watchmen, but below Batman Begins. Yeah, right there.
Okay, now I can go with that.
Yeah. Okay, Man of Steel.
Hmm. Man of Steel. I'm gonna be honest. It to me, I don't see why people were so critical of it. I thought one, Henry Cavill is a perfect looking Superman, and two, for all the expectations people have of the character, I understood that this is him still finding his way. I mean, a guy who's literally starting from the ground up, who's definitely not perfect. And I liked, and like I said before, when Zack Snyder is at his best, he can really pull off, composition, tone, and feel. And I liked the direction that they were taking with starting off with an all new portrayal of Superman. So to me, I think for an all new Superman that we were starting with, I thought they did awesome. So to me, Man of Steel is somewhere within A territory.
Okay, I see your point, and I agree for the most part. But there were a few things that kind of held it back from being a complete piece for me. Like for one, I
Hmm.
wasn't completely sold on Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I just couldn't really see her in the role.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was one thing. No, I can agree with you on that one. That was one thing that I wish they could have, I don't know, taken better care of in developing the dynamic between those two to make it, I don't know, a bit more believable that you know these two could actually fall in love and have a relationship with each other. Because I don't know, the chemistry wasn't quite there. I mean, not for lack of trying, but it just wasn't quite working.
Yeah. Not to mention, I'm sure it's been memed to death on the product placement in that last big fight.
Product placement.
Yeah, Wait, you're not familiar with that?
Uh, maybe not, or maybe it's just something that just flew over my head because I wasn't. I don't know.
Hang on, let me find it. Man of Steel product placement.
That should come with some interesting results.
Man of Steel, most product placements ever. I'll just put this.
Huh. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so numb to it.
Yeah, there you go. You can just quickly check that.
So you think you know Wix. Do you really?
Ads. Put that on silent. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just numb to it. Like I just couldn't give two shits about seeing the product on there.
Fair.
I don't know.
But I do agree with it being an A, though. Okay, Batman v Superman.
Yep. Another 2 minutes. Not 2 minutes. Several hours. I'm not getting back. they. This was DC obviously trying to play catch up to the MCU. It was just so painfully obvious by how much they were rushing um, to, to catch up. I mean, shoving so many characters and threads into there that it just that it basically fell under its own weight. And fuck me, don't even get me started on Lex Luthor. It's just cringiest portrayal ever. The only thing that I did like, okay, two things that stand out to me. One, okay, Ben Affleck, maybe mid as Bruce Wayne, but he did give us a pretty cool portrayal of Batman, even though I do disagree with the direction they took his character. But his introduction though, in that first scene where he kind of um, shows up in the corner. I mean, he looked legitimately terrifying. Like I could really understand. Okay, this is what can scare the shit out of criminals, and I liked that. And some of the fight scenes, those fight scenes towards the end with the thugs, because that was pretty cool. Those were the only things that stood out to me. Oh, that and Wonder Woman's theme. Her theme was pretty kick ass. But then that's about it. Those are the only good things about it, and the rest of it was just. I hardly ever say this word. The rest of it was dog shit.
Martha! That's my mom's name.
Yeah, I also I'm a little ashamed to say this, but it really did not occur to me that both of their moms have the same name, and I feel stupid for only just realizing it when I saw the movie.
I mean, to be honest, I never put that together either.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
But yeah, so F for me, but maybe higher in the F.
Yeah, yeah, maybe just a little bit higher in the F.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, actually, no. Batman and
What's
Robin
up?
is at least entertainingly bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I mean, I'd probably put it on, watch it with a friend, and we can point out, how bad it is, and just laugh at that. But Batman v Superman, there, there's just no saving that film.
Yeah. It's the film we didn't need and didn't deserve. Okay, Suicide Squad.
Hey, um,
I'll say
I didn't
this.
watch it in theaters. Go ahead,
I was gonna say
go for it.
it has one thing going for it. One thing that I can safely say was actually pretty alright, and that's Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. That was actually a pretty alright performance.
Yes, I could definitely agree with you there. It was her debut as Harley Quinn, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. No, I would agree with you there. There too. That was the one thing they got right, and it was a role that Margot Robbie played awesomely. And I'm glad that they kept her around long enough for a little bit longer for a few more spin-offs.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the rest of it just did not work.
Yeah. Like I remember a YouTuber that I heavily enjoy absolutely ripped to shreds the scene where Amanda Waller was saying that she was right about the Suicide Squad, and I was like, really, really, you were right. The Enchantress, the one that you wanted on the Suicide Squad, is like trying to destroy the town, trying to destroy the world, and you think you were right. Really? Like I saw that, and all I could think of is, I read the comics. Amanda Waller is not this dumb.
No, she is not.
Hey. Plus, do we even need to talk about Jared Leto as the Joker?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, everyone knows it was the worst. He's the worst Joker. Everyone knows it.
I mean, there's only one little bit of sympathy I have just because anyone playing the Joker after Heath Ledger, they got really big shoes to fill.
Yeah, but I know of someone that was able to fill those shoes easily, and his name is Walking Phoenix.
True. Okay. Right. How could I forget? I just...
And yet they thought, okay, yeah, Leto's knows what he's doing.
Are you kidding me? That guy was a psycho on set too.
Yeah,
I, I mean, because he's one of those. Jared Leto is supposed to be one of those. What do you call it? Method actors, right?
yeah, except he's doing it in all the wrong ways.
Yeah. Ugh.
Ugh. Like I would much.
Should have just stuck to getting killed by Christian Bale.
Meanwhile, I'm just thinking Jared Leto should just stick to being. What band is he part of? 15 Seconds to Mars.
Uh, is that right?
Uh,
Probably.
what band is Jared Leto in? 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I was just off on the number. But yeah, in total, Suicide Squad, I don't know, D.
Yeah, I can. I'd be fine with a D.
Yeah, like as we've seen, there are worse DC movies.
Yep.
All right, Wonder Woman.
Ah, I I thought this was a good one. For her very first movie, I quite enjoyed it. Um, Definitely a interesting one to have that took place. Um, it was during the First World War, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely an era that does not get touched on very often. Um, and soundtrack was still really good. Um, and I think we were starting to see Gal Gadot come into her own more so as Wonder Woman, because I still had was a little questionable about it, but you know, for what it was worth, yeah, no, she was starting to hit her stride more as the character, and yeah, I liked it pretty well enough. I think it was definitely one of the DC's one of their better attempts. So I'd be willing to put it in A.
uh, I think I personally put an S for the purely reason of this is probably the first uh female led super heroine movie that we've got that actually worked. Because when you think about it, every other one we got before that, Supergirl, Catwoman, women, Captain Marvel wasn't really that great. Great, this is probably the first one we got that, in my opinion, worked all the way through.
Hmm. When you bring that point up, no, I definitely agree because I can't think of any others that. Yeah, you know what? No, put it in an S because of that. It paved the way. I only wish that more movies could have.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, it just kind of feels right to have it be an S alongside inside the best Superman movie and the best Batman movie.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. Yeah.
All right, Justice League, and this is the original theatrical cut. I'm seeing the Zack Snyder Justice League cut layer down.
Oof. I, I. God, I don't even know where to start. To be honest,
I think I know where to
just
start. Joss Whedon should not have touched this
please.
script.
No, he should not have. He should not have been touching anything for a while. It turns out. Um, because God, the amount of behind the scenes problems that were happening um, for that movie alone, and then what we got as the end product that was so disjointed, and you could tell whose 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 work was whose throughout the entirety of that movie.
Yeah. Plus the elephant in the room that is Henry Cavill's CG upper lip.
uh, I don't know. It's I don't know. My first instinct is D, but I don't know. I feel like you can make an argument for anyone else. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel Deaton fits.
Mm,
Okay, Aquaman.
Aquaman. Um, Pleasantly surprised by mm, by well, okay, a couple things. One, I did not know that Jason Momoa could make Aquaman work, um, portraying it in a different way, in a way that's befitting to uh, Jason. Although, hmm, hang, hang on, I'm just trying to think here. It just don't. I mean, I just thought it was overall okay. I mean, I remember watching it in theaters and having a okay time with it. Um, it wasn't bad, but and you know what? Yeah, but I will also say that I also did kind of like seeing Black Manta, or at least seeing how his suit was done. Well, that's usually a standout to me. And but also appreciating that they were able to and how they conveyed Aquaman's suit, trident, the whole gear. Oh, but considering that it was James Wan directing it, um, I did find that scene with the what are they called? Um, those what are they called again? Underdwellers or something?
I think so. I haven't seen this movie yet.
The the trench. Right. Well. Oh, okay. You haven't seen it. Yeah. There was a sequence where they had to uh, go through the darkest parts of the ocean to reach some other side, and to bypass that, they had to go through um, the trench dwellers territory, which was genuinely scary and horrifying. And yeah, maybe not the best thing for those of you who have the thalassophobia, a fear of the ocean. um, but I did enjoy how genuinely scary that sequence was. Um, so I don't know. I would consider it though one of DC's better hits compared to the give and take of misses we've been getting. Maybe not quite up there as as Wonder Woman, but then again, if those guys are in S territory, I wouldn't mind putting Aquaman in the lower A territory.
All right. Although all that being said, there is some harsher in hindsight on the knowledge that Amber Heard plays Mara.
Yeah, no, God, I hate it when the actors have such that kind of screw things up their with their own shit afterwards. But well, we're not living actors' lives, so hell's going through their heads. So I I can't say any further or judge any further.
Yeah.
Not really, anyway.
All right. Shazam!
Shazam. Um, it was it was just okay. It for me. I mean, interesting to see what Zachary Levi in that role, and I will also admit because this came out like what 2018, I think.
2019.
2019. Well, by then, that's when when I've been. That was like what into my second year living in Philadelphia. It was kind of cool to recognize some locations here and there, especially in front of the art museum. But yeah, no, I mean the movie was it was just fine. It was okay. Another one of the better hits for DC, but just fine. I would put it in the B territory.
Okay. All right, Joker.
Dude, I mean, Batman had his moment for The Dark Knight, and arguably Heath Ledger's Joker. But Joker, the character himself, had his moment for this movie. I mean, when we didn't think there could be another groundbreaking portrayal of the character, then comes along Joaquin Phoenix. I mean,
Just.
so we know it's an S.
Oh, absolutely. How about another joke, Murray? All right, Birds of Prey.
uh, all right. Well, first off, again, it was cool to see Margot Robbie again being Harley. But like I said, I'm glad that that was one of the um things they got right with the first Suicide Squad was the debut of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. So always a joy to see her here. And the rest of the cast, though, I don't know, was kind of a bit on the more forgetful side for me. Not that they were bad or anything, but just nothing about it quite stuck for me. Um, not even um, Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. I was a little surprised when I saw the trailer and saw the cast credits. I thought, huh, okay, this could be interesting. But by the time I actually saw the movie, I don't know. Like I said, it was all kind of forgettable for me.
Hmm.
I'm not quite sure where to rate it. I mean, I guess the movie was just, I don't know, mid for me. If I don't recall anything, I don't know, particularly outstanding about it, and especially if it's, I don't really can think much about watching again. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, did you watch it?
Nah.
Eh. Uh, I guess mm, it can go in. Oh, I don't know. C.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay, Wonder Woman 84. Talk about a downgrade from the first one.
Yeah. I. Hmm. Honestly, the only thing I remember was I don't know how hype the trailer was, but the movie itself, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. It came out on streaming, right? Because it was during the pandemic.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I don't know. It like I said, it was a bit of a downgrade. Um, I like the bless you.
There you
I mean, I kind of like some of their little mock commentary about how ridiculous the '80s were, um, in terms of fashion the and I don't know, and society. But otherwise, eh,
Yeah,
I, I
there's so much about that movie that just did not work.
no,
The two big ones in my mind that that kind of are, well, one actually. Uh, One is, I hate what they did with Cheetah. Like, she's one of the best characters in the comics. What the hell did they do to her?
I honestly don't know. Just because um, she was also forgettable to me too.
Yeah. Two is the kind of fucked up implications that, okay, Wonder Woman, Diana wished for Steve Trevor to come back, and he does. And then it's revealed that he's apparently taking over another guy's body. So that means that every time Diana's kissing Steve Trevor in this movie, she's kissing another man. Am I the one who finds it kind of uncomfortable?
Yeah, yeah.
Because keep in mind, this guy never gave consent. Another guy in his body gave consent, which is not the same thing.
Yeah.
But the biggest one for me is the climax, where Wonder Woman's like you must renounce your wish if you want things to, like, if you don't want the apocalypse, blah 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 and blah, and everyone just renounces their wishes. I'm like, no, absolutely not. No one is that selfish. No one is that giving. Not everyone anyway. Anyway, there would have been a couple people that would have kept their wishes, just like, you know what, fuck you, lady.
Yeah, I honestly thought, and because and because it was such a uh, major point in the comics, I thought she was gonna have to kill him. I was waiting for that to happen because yeah, Wonder Woman did kill Maxwell Lord in the comics.
Huh, I'm gonna have to read that one.
Yeah, so I felt like it was kind of a cop out um, ending, to be honest.
Yeah, because, like, we all know that Batman is killed, even though it's been mean to death to him that he would never kill. We all know Superman's killed. But what, Wonder Woman can't kill on the TV screen either?
Right. No, that was something I realized too. Is at this point, well, supposedly I thought they were going to go for the whole. Okay, this is a Trinity that has killed before, but nope. Guess we got to keep things squeaky clean for Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Although it wasn't even meaningful. Not really.
Yeah, no. So, I feel like for me, this is either a D or an F. I did not think this was a good movie.
Eh, that'd be fine with it either way.
Mm. Kind of lean towards F, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, Zack Snyder's Justice League. This one this one I have yet to see, but because I'm saving it to watch it with one of my friends. But from what I've heard, leagues better than the original cut.
Yes, I will say I will watch this over the original cut every day. The only caveat, though, is that it is a long movie. Like I literally had to give myself intermission, to, a break, even though it was streaming, to just pause the movie so that I could do something else for a little bit, and then go back and watch it. Um, and I don't know. What I hate though is that this movie had to have one of Flash's best scenes ever. The Speed Force scene. I don't know if you've seen the clip or have heard about it,
I'm familiar
but
with it.
it was one of the really what? Sorry.
I said I'm familiar with it.
Okay, yeah. No, it was definitely one of the highlights of the film, and one of the and I would say one of the coolest soundtracks I've ever heard. And I was really hoping that this would be the kind of momentum that would continue forward with any more appearances of the Flash, eventually going into his solo movie. But that's a whole thing we'll address some other time, if ever. But yeah, uh, that, and also the decisions that people hated about the first film rescinded or improved upon, like Superman in his black suit. That was fitting, and that was awesome. Um, yeah, no, that definitely much overall definitely much better than the original cut. And I am teetering within the A territory. I mean, honestly, the only thing keeping it from an S is just the sheer length. Although I know it was also basically, here's everything that we wanted, that Zack Snyder wanted, but we just couldn't get it at the time. But so here it is for you to enjoy in its entirety. If only we had all of that, and then worked to, you know, was it refine and then um, cut it down, maybe we would have had a more enduring um, DC universe to build on.
Yeah. Almost makes me wonder if there's a Batman v Superman Zack Snyder cut.
I wouldn't be surprised, although I don't know what decisions they could have they could have left uncut that would save the rest of the movie.
I don't know. There might be some scenes left out that might make Lex Luthor sound more competent.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. The Suicide Squad. Such. Can I just say that's
Mm.
probably one of the laziest titles I've ever heard. They just put the word "the" in front of Suicide Squad. Oh, it's a completely different movie title.
Yeah, I would have been fine if they had Suicide Squad and put in like a secondary title or something. But either way, this one was definitely leagues better than the Suicide Squad's first outing, for sure. I mean, I feel like this is another movie that shows when James Gunn is at his best. What can he do with a bunch of ragtag, um, almost completely unlikable underdogs, and see what kind of madcap shenanigans they can get into.
I thought we were talking about Suicide Squad, not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah. Whoops. But in a way, I feel like maybe that was the whole point, because at the time when he was working on it, or when he started working on it, he got let go, right, from Disney.
Did he? I haven't heard. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, no, there was a period of time where he got let go because of some tweets, um, and then they brought him back in to at least finish up with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, um, before departing, and then now helming most of the new DC projects moving forward at this point. But besides all that, no, this Suicide Squad movie, I had more um, for sure than the second movie, even though I know it was what basically um, what Guardians of the Galaxy in the DC universe, but there was definitely more um, what opportunity for James Gunn to be at his weirdest and maybe raunchiest yet, with the characters they could play around with, and for that, for what it's worth, for as a fun little romp, I thought it was I thought it wasn't bad. So for me, it's maybe a high B.
All right.
I mean, I have fun with it. It doesn't have to be the very best, but shit, I had fun.
All right. Okay, the Batman.
Hmm. All right. Um, say what you will, but and again, maybe another one that suffers a little bit because of the sheer length of the movie itself. But I thought that it was an awesome movie that delved more into Batman as a detective, because I feel like we often forget that Batman can have noir crime thriller like elements to his stories as well.
Yeah, and I feel
So,
one of the better movies that showcases that is Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
oh yeah, dude. I mean, on one hand, nothing should touch that movie, but on the other hand, God, how cool would it have been if if that had been a live action?
Yeah.
But back to the Batman. Um, I will also say that I was also pleasantly surprised to see that Robert Pattinson did pretty well. I mean, he was another one of those casting announcement decisions that made people wonder. But I don't know. In the last couple of years or so, Pattinson's been really showing off his range, um, and I can respect him for that.
Yeah. Now I'm just hoping.
So for
Now
the
I'm just
movie
hoping something similar
itself,
can.
oh sorry.
I was just gonna say. Now I'm just hoping something similar can happen for Dakota Johnson because so far all we know her from is 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yes. But for the movie itself, the Batman, um, I enjoyed pretty well. It was definitely a different take on Batman, or at least a take on Batman that explored elements that we don't normally see or get too much get too in depth to. I would say it's an A, and I do hope we get to see um, the the next Batman movie, whatever direction that may go. I'll be looking forward to see what they'll do next.
Yeah. I think for me, there's just one thing that kind of holds it back from being a complete piece for me, and that is
Mm.
I'm not. I'm just not a fan of how they went about their portrayal of the Riddler.
Mm. Yeah, I I don't know. I mm. Well, I mean, okay, it's either this or Jim Carrey. Do you want Jim Carrey again?
Of course,
I'm
but I'm
kidding.
just
I'm
saying,
kidding.
if you're gonna add the Riddler in your movie, maybe don't just make him Diet Zodiac Killer. Ugh. All right, and the last one I'm seeing here because apparently cuts off at 2022 is Black
Ah,
Adam. Ugh.
I did not see that one, although I did not hear very favorable things about it either.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but something tells me I would be in the right to put an F.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, especially concerning the less than good things I've heard about Dwayne Johnson in recent times.
Yeah. What happened, man? I mean, you're hitting a stride of sorts, and I don't know, within at least the last decade, if not last 20 years or so, and then all of a sudden, in the last or 6 years, I'm like, huh, what's up with you lately, buddy?
Yeah, but what happened to you, man? You used to be Maui, and now you're meh.
I don't know. To me, I'm always gonna think about his first one of his first roles as the Scorpion King.
But yeah, there we go. That is our DC live action tier list. I wonder if I can find one for the DC animated timeline. DC
Hmm.
animated. Give me something. Give me something to work with.
Because there's a lot of DC animated movies. In fact, I would say that they're kicking ass with their DC animated movie projects within the last 10 years or so.
I love that I type in DC anime movies, and the majority of things I'm seeing here is Disney.
What?
I imagine they just took the word anime and figured, oh, they must want to see Disney. Ooh, I'm seeing one for Batman animated villains.
Hmm.
All right, I've got Batman animated villains and DC anime movies.
Um. Hmm.
Oh wow, never mind. The Batman anime villains one sucks. They don't even have every single bad guy.
Oh. Boo.
Lame.
Party foul.
Seeing Catwoman, Clayface, Harley, Joker, Croc. They don't even have the Riddler. They don't have the Hatter. They
What?
have no Scarecrow, no Poison Ivy, no Freeze.
Come on.
All right, this one's a bit better. Oh yeah, this is way better. Hmm. Yeah, anyways, getting distracted. Oh.
Hmm.
Okay, the DC anime movies has a lot. Way too many for us to go through for the remainder of this stream.
I was gonna say. I mean, that is the caveat, though, is that they made a lot of DC anime movies in the past. Ooh, well, actually, close to 20 years or so. Because I can remember when they started. one of the first major, even though it was direct to DVD projects they started with. What, Superman Doomsday, an adaptation of the Superman Doomsday story arc from
Hmm.
way back in, I want to say, 2007, 2008.
Wow, they even include the Lego ones. Lego Aquaman, Lego Flash, Lego Batman.
Oh wow, all those other Lego movies too. Wow,
Yes, Lego Justice League.
dang.
Spare no expense.
No, they did not.
We'll just shelve that for another time.
Yeah.
We'll just do. We'll just do the Batman animated series villains. But there's not too many here. We can get through these no problem. Though some of these kind of flow over my head because I haven't seen every episode of the series.
Okay. I don't think I've seen every episode of the series either. Yeah, this will be interesting to see what pops up and if I remember them or not.
Yeah. First one we've seen is Ra's al Ghul.
Ooh, Ra's al Ghul. Man, what else can I love about him other than the fact that he was voiced by uh shit. Um Give me a second. His name is just at the tip of my tongue. Uh
David Warner.
Thank you. Why can I not remember? David Warner. Huh. Anyway, David Warner, a treasure, and I wish could have stuck around a little bit longer, but just the fact that he was voiced by David Warner already puts him high up there. Um, I don't know what's keeping me exactly from it being an S, but anytime, every time Ra's al Ghul does show up, uh, it is always a treat just to listen to David Warner's voice.
All right. Well, that's interesting. They got a very interesting ranking system for this one.
Oh, oh, oh. Um. Okay, you know what? I would put him up in my top 2 to 5.
Okay, Catwoman.
Hmm. We've had two interesting portrayals of her in the animated series. The first one, when it was starting out, her in the more gray-ish looking costume, and when Selena had, blonde hair to start off with, and then later on when it was the new Batman Adventures, because it's still in the same continuity, where they had all those redesigns, and they redesigned Catwoman to be a little bit closer to uh, the Tim Burton Batman Returns movie.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of always preferred
I don't
her
know.
in the original style because I don't know if this is my guyness showing, but I just found that suit extremely attractive.
I would agree with you there because with her redesign, it was kind of generic. Um, yeah, it was just kind of generic, but at least with with her initial design, there was more happening. There was more happening with it that made it more distinct, I would say.
Yeah. I don't know if I put her in number
but
one, but she's definitely in my top 2 to 5. Because I feel like
yeah, you know what? I can go with that.
yeah,
Cause I don't know. I'm only hesitating just because I'm. Am I sure there's not anyone else I would also put up within my top 2 to 5? But so far, it's only been like what, maybe 2 spots filled so far in 2 to 5. So, there's still room.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if we need to stick to the numbers. I think we can go as far as we want.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking that for number one, it should be reserved for the ones that we just think are the absolute creme de la creme, absolute perfection.
Hmm.
You know.
I think we kind of know who that might be.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
before
Anyway,
we get ahead of ourselves,
yeah. Next up, we got Baby Doll.
um, I'm not too familiar with Baby Doll. I don't think I've actually seen her episodes, but I did see, or I did learn more about her and what her episode was about, and I did see the final scene um, in that of that episode, and I can see why or rather I can appreciate what makes her character so tragic to be, I mean, to imagine you're to imagine being someone living with such a disability, such a disease that prevents you from catching up with everybody else, quite literally, um and yeah, not to, I mean, to literally be stuck forever, like that is, it straight up sucks, man. Um,
Yeah. Especially considering
but
the fact that
she only appeared.
especially when you consider that is an actual real disorder that a lot of people have. One that comes to mind is the actor Atticus Schaefer.
Right. Yeah, you're right. But she's only had a handful of appearances. For the stories she has appeared in, um, it definitely makes an impact. Knowing her character.
Yeah. The
But
I kind of wish that that she got transferred into the comic line in the same vein that that characters like Harley Quinn and Livewire were, because I feel like she would have been great in as a part of Batman's Rogues Gallery.
yeah, I would have liked to have seen her as a regular Batman's Rogues Gallery, or at least I would have liked to see what direction other writers would have taken her, or where she could have potentially ended up along the line. I mean, God, it is really hard. It is seriously hard to believe how much an original character like Harley Quinn had progressed up to this point.
No, yeah, definitely.
But anyway, for Baby Doll herself, I'm not quite sure where to put her, where to rank her.
Hmm.
I mean, I would say at least mid, maybe like high mid.
Yeah. Okay, Bane.
Hmm. Bane. Yeah, he's definitely one that that I can remember having gone through some changes too, especially vocal wise. I mean, Um, Definitely better than what they had done with movies at that point in time. Um, Definitely helped to convey him as a veritable physical and potentially mental threat to Batman. Um, so I thought his initial design was cool, fairly faithful to the comics. And then when we got to the new Batman adventures with the whole redesign, this was something I did not really like all that much with the redesigns that they wanted to go darker, which to them apparently means putting a literal coat of black paint over everything. And they did that with Bane, but they they kind of took away, parts of what made the character um interesting. I mean, and definitely his voice. I don't feel like his voice quite matched um Bane anymore. I don't know if they had a new guy voicing him or not, or if it's the same guy, but just putting in a performance where he just kind of phoned it in.
Hmm.
But Bane, though, we think comics wise overall, he's definitely one of the mainstays. But as far as among the choice of animated villains, um, he's just kind of mid to me.
Yeah. Okay, I am not familiar with this next one. I guess he's the most I can gather is he's like a cyborg robot Batman.
Ah, okay. I vaguely remember this episode. It was one of what was it? Batman's what was it? Backup plans should anything happen to him. Um, Basically a robot replacement that kind of got kind of lost control and took things a little too far as upholding Batman's mission. I did not see the entire episode though. Um, so I'm trying to think here. I mean, I saw some clips here and there, but not enough to maybe give him a full ranking. But then again, I think he only had the one episode. Um, so I would just put him in low.
All right.
I mean, I find the concept interesting, so that's why I wouldn't put him in the why category.
Yeah. Poison Ivy.
Oof. Well, okay. I mean, mm, I don't know. Among um Batman's rogues gallery of femme fatales, uh, I don't know. Mm, my first instinct is just mid, although I would probably rank her up a little bit higher with mid territory.
Hmm.
I can't quite explain why. I mean, she's obviously a mainstay, one of the mainstay villains for sure in Batman's rogues gallery. Um, been around for quite some time. Um, I guess maybe a part of me was just a little bit, I don't know, confused as to why by the time new Batman adventures came around, they tried to make her more of a plant human being like hybrid type deal.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Mm. Or hell, or maybe that's the direction that she was always meant to win. The more she detached herself from her humanity, maybe.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the direction they went with in the Arkham games, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm personally kind of leaning towards putting her on top, considering she is such a a strong presence in Batman's Rogues Gallery, both in the comics and in the animated series. Plus, we all know there are others that have less of a presence than her.
I suppose.
Hmm. Should we flip for it?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll say heads she goes in top, tails she goes in mid.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a trouble when it's just the two of us because it's hard to make an agreement. Well, landed on heads.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Clayface.
Clayface. Ah, that was an interesting one. Especially considering how he was introduced. Um, I'm trying to think. I feel like what makes it a standout was up until that point, um, most of Batman's villains were these obviously more costumed and yet still technically human, um, like villains. Clayface was interesting in how um, perhaps he's one of um, it was an introduction to Batman's Rogues Gallery, the side that had, I guess, straight up superpowers, and plus, well, okay, two things. One, uh, Ron Perlman voicing him, yes, and two, um, it will always stick to me how haunting and how hard the animation went um, when he was, because these powers are new to him, how he was switching around and changing shapes after being confronted with all those images of the past roles. He used to play as an actor. His character who was an actor. And then transforming into all those all at once because he was losing control. Um, that was always haunting to me, um, and yet such a tour de force of character and facial animation, um, to show that kind of to convey that kind of um, flux of power. Um, so for all that, Clayface is a standout to me. That's why he goes into my top 2 to 5.
Yeah, I can definitely agree there. Although I think the one nitpick that I have that I think kind of holds it back just a little bit is the fact that in this
Mm.
in this show they gave him they used the name of the second Clayface, Matt Hagen, even though the backstory that they went with him is all more reminiscent of the first Clayface, Basil Carlo.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this was the thing that a lot of what do you call it? Well, I mean, movies too. Whenever they adapt something into TV or movies, they always seem to try to find ways to blend um, various incarnations into one, which sometimes it works and sometimes it's a little off-putting.
Yeah. I just find it a little interesting, especially considering that usually when someone mentions Clayface, the name that I always hear come out of people's mouth is Basil.
Right.
Yeah, just a curious thing I noticed. Harley Quinn.
I mean,
I mean,
well, look, okay, hang on. Let's hold our horses here. Um, well, okay. First off, okay, she is obviously an icon.
mm-hmm,
This is where she started
mm-hmm,
before she went right to the top.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to structure an argument here, but before I start jumping. Um, okay, you know what? Well, no. All right, no, I can say this. Um, I could still put her in one just because for her first, uh, for her introduction, um, I can appreciate that she portrays one of those villains, or rather, one of those unfortunate individuals who can get caught up in a cycle where that is hard to break. Um, and she has definitely had a lot of interesting and fun episodes. Um, well, such as during the time when she was initially rehabilitated and was trying to readjust, you know, to civilian life, and yet, well, okay, I guess it factors back in again. How does she ends up in a cycle, um, back into her old ways? Um, that's just one way of it. But then also, later on, especially that obvious episode, what was it? Uh, Joker's Wild, um, which was her proper backstory introduction, of how she is also a victim of abuse as well. So,
I thought it was called
uh,
Mad Love.
and Mad Love. Thank you. Sorry, I'm mixing up my episodes.
You're good.
Um, so for all the for all the time we've spent with her, we definitely got to see um a lot more to her. So because of that, she definitely deserves a top spot for sure. And then, appreciating that all that, and then how they have taken her character through comics and developed her up to this point, nothing short of amazing.
Yeah. Not to mention that she probably has one of the most tragic backstories in all of comic history.
Hmm.
Yeah. If only the movie stuck to that backstory.
Hey.
Speaking of tragic backstories, Mr. Freeze.
Oh, dude. Definitely one of my favorites. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes. Uh, Heart of Ice. Um, just because of how terribly tragic his story is. I
Yeah,
mean, he's definitely a villain by circumstance, definitely not by choice.
yeah.
Um,
In fact,
and
in fact, I will give
sorry.
Schumacher this. At the very least, he knew that when making Batman and Robin, he at least knew that the image of Nora in the tank, he at least knew that was something that needed to be. He knew he had to stick to the backstory of Mr. Freeze. I will at least give him that.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, at the very least, at his core, that is that's what they kept and maintained, um, about the character for sure. And dude, we have to give it to, um, he was voiced by Maurice LaMarche, right?
I believe so. Let me check. Mr.
Yeah, I want to double check too.
Uh, Eli Wallach, actually.
What?
Wait.
I could have sworn.
Michael
What's that?
Ansara is the voice of Mr. Freeze / Victor Fries in Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, oh, huh. Then who am I thinking? Then where did I get the idea that he was voiced by?
Hang on, let me see here. Okay, Maurice LaMarche voiced Mr. Freeze in Arkham Underworld. Oh, there's apparently a video called Maurice LaMarche and Mr. Freeze Performance Compilation. Alright, let's see. He apparently played him in the Arkham games.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Huh. Um, but no. No. I mean, okay, properly. I did love my. I mean, I know the part of it was effects and modulation, post editing, but I mean, him getting that I don't mean to be on the nose here. The cold inflection of such an individual by such tragedy was just perfect. I mean, it'll be hard to put Mr. Freeze in. I mean, I know we've had uh, a it's been done before, but not quite like this. You'll be hard pressed to find to find somebody that can convey this to screen or to live action. So, for me, Mr. Freeze falls at least somewhere within my top 2 to 5.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Absolutely. Okay, Joker, number 1. There's no
Number
other...
one. Need we say more? Need we say more?
2 words! Mark Hamill!
Fuck yes. I mean, he is a global icon that anyone and their mother out there who has tried to do a Joker will always reference him first. Will always use him as the benchmark, as the high bar.
Yeah, you read a Batman comic, and you read the Joker, no doubt, Mark Hamill's voice is in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Batsy, I didn't know you cared. Alright, Killer Croc.
Killer Croc did not leave a particularly strong impression on me. He's just low.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh no, no, not you. Although I would definitely put him above the robot Batman because at least he had that one great line almost got him. I threw a rock at him.
Oh yeah, true. I love that episode, by the way. Oh, got him.
It was a big rock. Okay, Man-Bat.
Man-Bat. Ah, the very first episode of Batman the Animated Series. First villain. Okay. So I guess I have to retract a little bit when I talked about Clayface as being one of the first you know, villains that Batman had to start facing that had superpowers. I guess technically, we did have the very first episode with Man-Bat, Kirk Langstrom turning himself into a creature like that. But to that end, that's about the only distinction he has is just being, the first uh, for just for the debut first episode. Um, so sorry, Kirk. You're on win for me.
Yeah, you're low,
I
dude.
mean, you have the honor of being the first, but not on my list though.
Yeah. All right, Mad Hatter.
Hmm. Um, he's about a mid for me. I mean, well, hmm. I mean, he's had some interesting episodes. I will admit. I mean, definitely his first episode, conveying his origins and why he started all the first place. How, um, yeah, being so Alice in Wonderland focused, um, was definitely a standout.
Yeah. Plus,
And
plus he was.
also his subsequent schemes.
I was just gonna say. Plus, one of my favorite episodes. So it's per chance to dream. Dream.
Yes.
He was the mastermind behind that, and it was a brilliant scheme from him.
Oh yeah, I was just about to bring that up. I'm so glad you did, because that was also another one of my favorite episodes too.
What better way to take down the Batman than to make the Batman happy?
Yeah, I mean, how many villains would actually try that?
Yeah. Plus, I kind of have a soft spot for him because if you don't notice by now, folks, I am a huge Alice in Wonderland nut. So having a villain who's just absolutely mad in love with Wonderland, kind of speaks to me. Plus the way they go about it, it's definitely different from the comics in that they know how to play into the cartoony side of Wonderland.
Hmm.
Whereas,
Okay, so where would you put him?
uh,
Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. I would probably put him in my personal top five, if only because one, he definitely has an interesting backstory, and the Wonderland motif definitely speaks to me. Not to mention the hypnosis angle is definitely a very interesting angle for him to have for his schemes. Is because I always found the concept of hypnosis absolutely fascinating. That the idea that you can just that if you put the mind deep enough into a subliminal trance, you can make a person do anything. Like, it is terrifying, but it is also so intriguing.
Hmm. Okay, I'll give you that. You make a good argument. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I honestly have no idea who this is supposed to be. I was this close to saying Falcone, but then I was like, wait, no, Falcone's bald.
No, wait. Um, wait. No, oh. That's Hang on. I'm just double checking. Ah, Rupert Thorne.
Oh.
Yeah. Um, one of the the definitely the criminal that's on the the, I don't know mob
Hmm.
assisting presence in Batman the Animated Series, popping up here and there. Um, but otherwise, I don't know. He I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that he's not threatening. I mean, he is a veritable threat, but only in the sense that he's just part of that larger general type of crime that Batman's fighting to stop, or trying to fight against. Um, but he doesn't really quite register to me. Um, in my list, so to me, he's just on the low side. Not to undermine him, but just strike out to me.
Hmm.
Quite stand out to me.
All right,
I mean, he has a
Riddler.
purpose in the story. Ooh, Riddler. I I think Riddler's awesome. He's definitely in my top 2 to 5. Um, just because of how much his character had, you know, switched up and around here and there. I mean, definitely one of the enemies, one of Batman's enemies that is so obsessed with trying to outwit him, outsmart him. Um, and I will, and of course, one of the moments that still stands out to me is that one ending of the in that episode where he just goes complete his trap. Um, I mean, for that, I just have to give props to um, I believe it was John for. Wait, no. Uh, Shoot. Crap. Why am I forgetting?
Hang on, I'm on.
I really need to. Thank you,
John Glover.
John Glover. Thank you. I again, I have to John Glover's performance as and as the Riddler for that one. That's why he's in my that's why he's in my top 2 to 5. I just I just kind of find it stupid though how his redesign um for the new Batman Adventures just kind of, I don't know, oversimplified him, and I hate that it was taking inspiration from his skin tight suit look from both the old original portrayal as well as coming off of Batman Forever at the time. Ugh.
Yeah, I didn't like they were going for the Frank Gorshin look.
He was so much better in his suit.
Yeah, the
Why can we? Why
as no
couldn't we
one
keep him
learned,
in
the
the
Riddler
suit?
needs a suit. You can't expect the Riddler to give out riddles without a good suit. He can't work spandex.
No.
All right, Two-Face.
Hmm. definitely had one of the. I think he had definitely he definitely had the best arcs and introduction. He definitely had the best development to turning Harvey Dent into Two Face. My only gripe though is that I wish we could have seen what else further what else had further happened with his love interest Grace. Because I always thought that what was that was one of the points of what gives you that hope that um that he could be rehabilitated even despite his tragedy, that he still had some anchors his um to his former life, that being Grace and of course his best friend Bruce. And then when it came to the new Batman Adventures, they just made him more um and even worse so when but when by the end of the new Batman Adventures he had developed that third personality,
Yeah, the
the
judge.
judge. I will say though that for that episode, it legitimately terrifying as the judge. But still, I kind of wish it also didn't happen either.
Yeah.
But for all that, no, he is definitely within my top 2 to 5 as well.
Oh yeah. Okay, the ventriloquist and Scarface.
Um, I don't remember too much about them. Um, all I could think about is the one or two scenes where they showed up in a different episode that centered around a different villain entirely. I think the villain's name was Lockup or something. The
Oh, I
guy who
remember that episode.
is yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. He threatened me with termites. Termites.
Termites. Yeah, no, that's all I could remember of him really. um, but okay, hang on. Okay, there's that, and okay. Also, I forget what episode it was. Maybe it was his debut episode, but I am also remembering when um his when the ventriloquist does see uh well, Scarface get shot up or something, or his head gets separated or whatever. How much that you know seemed to have such a impact on him, and it kind of makes you appreciate. Well, I don't know if the word is appreciate, but um, it really hits you, just how splintered this guy's mind was to create such a distinct personality, um, that you forget half the time. No, this is coming from the guy himself, not the puppet. Um,
Yeah. I think one of the episodes that
but
I remember
even
is
so,
in the new Batman
oh,
Adventures where was released from Arkham, but one of his goons decided to torment him with the Scarface puppet to bring him back.
mm,
So I don't know where I put him because on the one hand he's a very intriguing villain, but on the other hand, it's a guy with a puppet and a Tommy gun.
I mean, my first instinct is to put him in mid.
Yeah, but
I mean,
definitely
not for
high
lack
mid.
of him, being uninteresting, but yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, this guy I do not recognize.
me see. Oh, yeah, he was one of those one-offs for just the one episode. Um I forget his name, but he what do I'm trying to summarize here. A guy who works at a tech company found out about this guy developing essential special material that could be programmed to be invisible. However, it's also poisonous as well. What's worse is that the guy um, is divorced from his wife, but he uses the suit to be invisible and hang out with his daughter, whom she believes she is hanging out with an imaginary friend. And he tries to kidnap her in order to get his daughter back. Um, it's a it is a whole it is a whole thing. Um, and actually one of the episodes that I do like watching from time to time that I do like revisiting. But he was only a one-off though. Um, and yeah,
Huh.
it is low for me.
All right. Dr. Hugo Strange.
It was strange. Uh, Trying to think. I mean, obviously he's had a recurring presence up to the point. I mean, he's definitely one of the uh, villains that trickier villains. One of the tricky villains Batman's had to face with. I mean, he is the guy that figured out Bruce Wayne's identity and then tried to auction that off. Um, Outside of that, though, trying to think if there's anything else essential that I'm missing. I don't know. What do you think?
Uh, Honestly, probably mid, because I know the comics. Like, I know Professor Strange, and the dude is one of Batman's biggest rivals, which makes it kind of sad that not only does he have very few episodes where he shows up, but also he's not really that threatening in the animated series.
He really wasn't. Not even when it came to the episode where he actually did figure out, learn Batman's identity. In the end, there just wasn't much to it after that.
Yeah. Honestly, it's dawning on me how many villains didn't get the chance to even show up in the animated series. Honestly, that I think would fit pretty well. Like, imagine if they had a Batman anime equivalent of Black Mask.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. Oh, or Professor Pig.
Oof, man. Yeah, Professor Pig's intense.
Yeah. Okay, Clock King. This one was a huge disappointment for me.
Yeah. Did he have more than one episode? Or
I think he
just the
only
one?
had the one.
Huh. I'm trying to think, because the thing is, I didn't I don't think I quite saw the episode full. I remember seeing the beginning of it, definitely, how Clock King himself came about, and then maybe a little bit towards the end, um, when it comes to Batman defeating him. Um, I'll say this much. You know how Joker is always going on about how it only takes one bad day for someone to go off the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clock King's story is one of those moments that kind of exemplifies it. And I can't help but feel sorry for the guy. The one day he decides to go off of his routine to try and relax and turn things around for himself, because I know he had some kind of, like, court hearing or whatever. And unfortunately, all that turned to shit real fast for him. That, yeah, no, he ended up going crazy for it. Just full out, just howling at the moon for for how things devolved for him. um, so I don't know. To me, that's why he leaves an impression for me. But that said, I would not put him among my top 2 to 5. He's still mid level for me, but a mid level that kind of stands out.
Yeah. Okay, Penguin.
Hmm. He's had an interesting, a very interesting pathway. I mean, being a straight up villain to start off, and then being in a position whereby the new Batman Adventures, he's more informant. I mean, he still has his hands on a few less than legal ventures here and there, but otherwise kind of takes on that sort of, I'm sort of semi retired from crime, and yet I'm not kind of deal. Although I don't really like his redesign. I liked his I liked his initial design more um, than his second one.
Yeah, it kind of felt like with the with new design, it kind of felt like they were going for more of a Burgess Meredith thing going on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they I feel like they try to human maybe a bit too much, or maybe that was the point, just to show his transition into his new position of sorts. But even so, I kind of miss the flipper like hands he had back then.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, the entire whole point of the Penguin is that he's supposed to be like a high class citizen, but he's also supposed to be an absolute animal, a criminal animal. Well, even Gotham got
Right.
that right, and right, Robin Lord Taylor knew how to split the well married citizen with the absolute manic animal.
Mm.
Hmm.
But even so, he's definitely one of the mainstay villains. I would say he still is in my top 2 to 5.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love it so. I love that that none of them have gone to into the Y16 plus, and that kind of shows the staying power of the majority of them.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely shows that they have good, consistent writing behind them.
Hmm. Okay, Scarecrow.
Oof, man. Wow. I Scarecrow kind of took a, well, okay. I don't want to say 180, um, because I will say when we first saw him, he didn't look that threatening. He barely looked like a guy that had a burlap sack on his head, maybe a cartoonish kind of looking mouth when he had the mask on. But I do remember when in later episodes, um, him looking a bit more threatening, definitely scarier. Um,
Yeah.
and then by the time of New Batman Adventures, not only did he get a new voice actor, Jeffrey Combs, love him, um, but his look changed so dramatically too to look the scariest he's ever been with the with that sort of a preacher like look and the hanging noose around his neck. I mean, psycho, but
Yeah,
yet
that
so cool.
he looked
And with
freaky.
Jeffrey Combs' voice, oh my god!
Mm.
I wish we had more episodes. Honestly, I know we had at least two in that new redesign with Jeffrey Combs, but I wish we could have had more.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the redesigns that I think they got right, or that I definitely did not mind and definitely kind of liked. So um, he's definitely in my top 2 to 5.
Yeah, same. Actually, it dawned on me that so far we've been kind of talking about the redesigns of every character, except the Joker, and honestly, I think for good reason, because let's face it, the Joker's redesign in the New Batman Adventures was terrible.
It was shit.
Like, he's a bright, loud, colorful clown. Why'd you suck the color out of his face?
Yeah, where is his lipstick? There's no lipstick.
And why did they make his eyes so dead?
Right. Why'd you have to make him look like he had a doll's eyes? Ugh.
Ugh. I remember a YouTuber. I remember watching a video. The YouTuber I enjoy. And he did like did comparing the designs, and, and I think he said when he got the Joker. I think he said something like I feel like I'm watching an R-rated version of Steamboat Willie. Nope. All right, this is yet another one that I do not recognize.
Huh. Let me see. I don't recognize this one either. He must have been a one-off in an episode I watch.
Huh. Should this be our first Y?
Why not? I'm sorry. I had to.
Yeah. And lastly, it's been a while since I've seen this episode, but I'm pretty sure this is Lockup.
Ooh. Yep, that's Lockup. Because he was a one-off just for that episode. We never saw him again, did we?
No, I don't believe so, but man, did he leave an impression.
Yeah, no, I mean, uh, a psycho of a guy that scares the other villains. I mean, wow,
Yeah.
a guy who could scare the Scarecrow would make me feel really crane.
Yeah, to the point where I kind of felt comeuppance after hearing him go, now you know the real meaning of fear.
Oh yeah. But I'll say this: Lockup is one of the villains that I think shows an example of what Batman could have been if he wasn't careful with how far he wanted to take capturing his enemies. because obviously he wouldn't kill. He'd never kill. But there are other ways he could take things to the extreme if it was all about just, keeping them locked up. Um, not to force the the wordplay here. Because we do have to remember, and it was said too, in other episodes, that Batman does believe in rehabilitation and second chances, hoping that for a day where he won't be needed anymore.
Yeah, and that's kind of something that I wish people in Hollywood would remember because I've seen so many movies, comics, makes that forget that Batman's whole philosophy of that he believes in second chances and he doesn't kill, and they just decide to have him kill.
Hey, yeah.
I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure they even made that mistake in some of the comics. It's like, make up your mind. Does he kill or doesn't he? I think for me, he's probably a high mid.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, because he only had the one episode, so he didn't have enough time to really cement himself.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see him in other episodes. Like, for what other reason could he have shown up for?
Yeah, I mean,
Do
hell,
or
it,
whatever his next scheme would have been.
it could have honestly been an interesting idea of maybe lockup escapes, and it could be like an opportunity to maybe show maybe an opportunity for Batman to actually team up with some of the folks that he would usually lock up. No pun intended. Maybe give him a chance to team up with
Mm.
Scarecrow or the Hatter or Penguin. Penguin, hell, how weird and funny would it be if the Batman and the Joker teamed up because they both knew that lockup was worth having out.
Mm. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I mean, yeah, no, that would have been an interesting. It would have been interesting to see an episode where Batman and Joker did team up, if only very momentarily, against somebody else.
Yeah. But can't bite the hand that doth feed us.
Nope.
And there we have it. That is our Batman the Anime Series villain tier list. And with that, I think that's about all the time I think we have for this week.
Yep.
So I guess we will see you next Monday for the last entry in this little super blah thing. But October things will definitely be a lot more organized, and we'll definitely have a lot more time to play around with shit.
Yeah.
All right. Until then,